Hey, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tasha. This is Tasha Pivots, where we talk about all things mamahood and homeschool and how I'm pivoting through this journey. And today I wanted to hang out with you mamas and talk about how I archive my homeschooling year. If you'd like to hear more, then let's get started. All right, guys, as you can see in my introduction, I am talking about archiving and organizing our homeschool as we are getting towards the end of the school year. And I was digging through and kind of organizing and getting things in order. And I was like, you know what? I want to show you guys what I do. So I have the one bin in front of me for last year and how I archived that one, as well as just some of the resources and things that we use. I primarily organize and archive our school year just for record keeping, as well as it helps me to be able to go and look back and see what we've done, what we've completed. It also helps me if my youngest will be entering into these grades eventually following her sister, and so I can be able to check back. I can say, okay, this is what worked for this grade level. This is what we did. Or I have some extra worksheets, I have some references, I have some curriculums that I can pull from if I need to. So all of that kind of helps me with my archiving, as well as I love to take photographs of my girls. I love to take photographs of their work, and I build out a beautiful yearbook for them as a gift from mommy to them every year that they can look back on of their full year of all the things that they got to do. And so with that, this helps me kind of get those things in order. So I'm going to show you my bin, but I'm first going to show you the thing that pretty much keeps everything and organizes everything for me, or keeps it for me throughout the year. So I archive throughout the year as well as at the end of the year. So I'm not completely overwhelmed and needing to take like literally 2 weeks to try to map a whole 36 weeks to 40 weeks of school into one solid place. I do it throughout, and that is with this. This is my cute little upgraded little filer. You can catch these at Target or any office supply store. I got mine there at Target, so I'm going to open it up to you guys. As you can see right here, I've got some tabs already made out, and there's things already in there. And then this thing really expands all the way out, like all the way. It's almost the same size as your friend. So I love this. I think they're super easy for storage, great affordable price. They're not as expensive of trying to find an actual file cabinet. I'm sure eventually I'd maybe get one, just because this is going to be a part of our journey for the rest of our foreseeable future. And so but I love that it has these sections. So what do I put in mine? I've got test, book report section, arts for Zoe, arts for JoJo, any extra like loose leaf sheets, math worksheets that I've done, test that we've needing to complete as far as like comprehension and writing test, anything that is a loose leaf sheet that I've had to physically print, but is not bound to anything, doesn't have a designated space, so that it doesn't get lost in the shuffle of homeschool and all of the things. I love to archive them in this filer. So I highly recommend this as a tool for your classroom. Even if you did have a file cabinet, or if you already have your stuff sectioned by curriculums, again, if you are going to reuse those bins and you don't want to have to keep everything there, you can then debunk them out of that and then put them in here. So I really enjoy using those. That's the current one for this year. I also would highly recommend it for moms who are doing a year of learning. There's so many different sections, and even though all of it can be saved and still in the system of how they download it or send it to you when you purchase, if you were the type to be like me, where I like to print everything even if I'm not going to do everything, I'll print everything and then I will pick and choose what I want to have bound, and then the rest, it's kind of like, oh snap, crackle pop, I just have all these sheets. And so with that, this is also a great one, because you can literally section that all the way through, and then when you're ready, oh, we're doing copy work this week, okay, I'm pulling that sheet, I'm pulling this one, you know, it's the organizer in me. I think you'd enjoy that if you are like me and want to print everything, or if you are like, binding is so extra cost and I don't have a binding machine, but I do want to print everything, then this is another way for you to organize all of that. So there's that. Then I have my bin in front of me, which I will show you guys a close-up of, but I'm going to just pull things out so you can see it. So when I archive our homeschooling year, I will archive our curriculum, especially if there's parts of it that maybe I shifted out of halfway through the year and we didn't do it all the way. I never know if I still want to go back to that or if I want to use that as an assessment exercise. So like, for instance, if say I'm doing master books curriculum and I did it all the way through one half of the year and the other half I decided I'm going to do the good and the beautiful. But now I want to just test my child. I want to see how they're doing. If it was done in a different format with a different writer, all those things. And I just say, you know what, instead of me going and Googling for 2.5 hours of trying to find all these different exercises, I can now go back, find my master book, math book, pull out a couple of sheets of an exercise from that, and then put it together and say, okay, this is our assessment for the week. Let's see how we do. Then you're not wasting the curriculum that you already had. And so I just think of it that way. So I love how I gave you that scenario because it's exactly kind of what happened. I have right here some master books. This is the science for one. I have an entire video that you can check out where I do a full flip through and review of the master books curriculum box set for grades 1. And that's what this is from. But we didn't continue with this. Literally halfway through the year, I found a year of learning and I never went back. So this is here, but I love it because there's still science activities in here. And there's still some fun stuff that even when we have our 3 weeks of summer off, or if I know with the year of learning, they're doing an exercise on flowers and seeds, and I know that there's a whole little project in here with flowers and seeds, I can then pull that and make it a full thing, right? So there's that. So I have those in here. I will put journals in here. We love our little journal books that are like mid-size. I'm trying to explain to y'all, but it's not happening here. There we go. This one's the old version that we don't use anymore. But when I first started my homeschooling year, I bought a pack of these, and Zoe would use these to do taking her spelling words and writing a story, doing some story writing, or writing the definitions, or doing a let's think. I used to do a pop question every morning of let's think. And she'd have this question and she'd have to answer it. And so she could record those all in here. And so I have those in here. And then I have these huge containers, which they're actually kind of rude because they don't fit in this bucket. But I still want to show you guys. I will buy these in a heartbeat. So most people know these. If you're a scrapbooking person, then you know that these are like scrapbooking bins at Michael's. And they love to have a little sale once in a while when they're like $3.99, $2.99, $5.99. And I will be that friend that's going to buy like 2, 3, or 4 of them because they are the perfect size for all of our artwork. So any of our art projects, anything that we've painted, as you can see, there's like some bunny thing happening on the front of this one. But I will have these, I label them whatever year this is and whose it belongs to. And I will store them all in here. Any projects that I couldn't fit in my filer, I will stick them in here and it is good to go. I also have another one, so you have 2. Because we do a lot of art in my classroom. We do art depiction with a year of learning, and then we do our own art history class once a week with friends. And so we will learn about an artist, and then we'll do a project, and we'll do a series of projects. And sometimes they're big, sometimes they're small. And if they're not ones that are actually being put up on their art galleries in their room, then I will go ahead and store them in here. And then we will look back over them, decide which ones we want to really keep. And then I photograph them and put them in their yearbook, and we go from there. So this is also a great way to archive your stuff if you're like, I don't really care if it's in a bunch of sections. I'm just trying to put everything in one spot. Here you go, grab you one of these, a couple of these, make it happen. And if you do the larger containers, then they will fit. My bins are from Target or Walmart, wherever they were on sale during the holidays. I always buy a couple of them and have them ready to go. I will label them what they are, close them up. It's really great if you are having to move quite often. To those like those military families, we always will be, even though he's a veteran. I remember being in the military lifestyle and having to move every 3 or 4 years. So just having a space for everything to be designated, already organized. I don't have to feel overwhelmed by all the things that we've done, and I don't also have to just throw it all away. That is honestly why I archive as well. Another thing is, even like, this is crazy, but this was my first, my Lakeshore Learning first planner for my first homeschooling year. I'm a little sentimental, can you tell? I try not to be a hoarder, but I do, some things are sentimental for me to be able to look back and be like, man, yes, that was the first year we did homeschool. That's the first year we changed our lives. And I get to look back at it. So I love to have all of these things in here ready to go. If I have room, I can fit 2 years in here if I need to. But it's going to continue to grow, obviously, when you have more than one child. I also would recommend, if you're interested in photocopying your stuff and dropping them into a cloud or into a drive, where you know that certain documents you need to keep for your child to show records if you live in a state that requires it, that needs to show, like, yes, they are doing vocabulary, they are doing some story writing and excuse me, just practicing all of these things, or they have been doing drills in math, and this is the timestamp, and that's the big for me. I don't know why in my head I'm like, somebody's gonna come knocking on my door and ask me about my children's schooling, and I need to make sure that I've got dates on things. And so I always have my children write their dates on their paperwork, and so that's something that I have if I ever had to. Not that I would, and I'm not living in fear, but knowing that, hey, you come, I've got receipts. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video and it's given you some inspiration and plans on how to better organize and archive your year. If you have any questions, please put those down in the comments below. If you do a certain method and I didn't mention any of that and you want to share it with us, put that down in the comments. You know I love to learn, and I would love to engage with you. If you like this video, give it a warm thumbs up. And until next time, I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.